Hello guys, and thank you for joining me. My name is Majohn, and today I'll be showing off the cool little Moonman or Majohn S3 fountain pen. This was one of my findings on AliExpress, and I was mesmerized by the pattern it has, so I just had to have one. It does come with a few other types of resin and color choices, as you can see on the screen, but this one is the one that grabbed my attention because it seems to be a little bit more unique than everything else that I have so far. The first thing that hit me when I finally got it in my hands was you look taller in the pictures. So it's a little bit more than I was expecting it to be. I'm not disappointed or anything, it's just interesting. And the price for this pen when I purchased it was 19.36 Canadian dollars. I'm not sure if the prices have changed since then. I didn't look. It might have. However, as usually on AliExpress or anything else, do look around. You might be able to find it at cheaper prices. So let me show it off to you. It has a very nice pattern and has a lot of chitons that I know people enjoy seeing and having. And it's a cool little pattern. I really like it. So, as you can see, basically the exterior it's kind of a classic cigar shape. My model came with a gold trim. I think that all of them might come like that, but I'm not 100% sure. The clip that it comes with, it's actually really nice. A little bit maybe stiff, but very useful for sure. I don't think you'll have any issues with it. It has a cool little thing at the top with some perforations or dots, or I'm not sure what those are. And the top finial, it's glued on. It cannot be removed from what I can see, and so is the bottom finial. Once you remove the cup, which by the way it's actually screw type, and personally I can remove it in one move by doing this movement, it will reveal a number 5 nib, and that is a nib unit and it can easily be removed. And in this case it came with a fine nib. Well, I choose a fine nib because they did not have an extra fine one, and this should do the job as well pretty nicely. The section, as you can see, is fairly simple. It ends in threads that are actually not intrusive at all. I had no issues with it as I was holding it. Even the edge at the end of the threads, it's fine and is not sharp. And then you just continue with the barrel that has that cigar shape, classic cigar shape. Removing the barrel will reveal a nice converter that fortunately is not Lamy style. It's actually a pretty nice, decent converter that can easily be opened up if you need to service it to add silicone grease and all that. And in my case, this piston actually moves very smoothly. I don't put any effort in it. It just goes very nicely. Threads, plastic threads on metal threads. However, I see no issues with it. This is actually very smooth. It just goes like butter. And by doing this, it actually tightens itself very easily, very nicely. Cool. There you go. Same with the cap. The cap threads are actually very smooth. By playing with it like this, I never got it to basically bind or cross or anything like that. It just works very nice. No complaints in that regard. Now, the pen balance, it's actually pretty good, pretty nice. It's bang on in the middle, uninked. If you put the cap, basically, if you post it, you can post this pen and it will be a little bit back weighted. However, I don't know if I could consider this pen postable. I mean, it definitely can post, but it's kind of wobbly, 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 and once it moves, it just falls. So if you tend to grip your pen a little bit harder as you write, this thing will just stay crooked. And my OCD, it's annoying me basically, but it can be if you really want to. However, I will most probably use this pen unposted. Unposted, however, if you have larger hands like I do, you might find it a little bit tiny in your hands. Cute, but tiny. Weight dimensions are in the description if you're curious about that. This will give you an idea of the actual size of the pen. Okay, so today I wanted to use this ink that I've been having in my collection for a couple of good years and I never actually used that. This is the Everflo Blue-Black. I believe that I talked about this brand in the past in one of my videos. I'll link back to it at the top if you want to go and see that as well. And I was using a black version of this ink. This company unfortunately went bust because I actually like their inks so far. I mean, I only have 3 of them, but I kind of like the 2 of them that I used. I haven't used this one before. And I have a feeling I might like this one as well too. As you can see, this, I'm not sure if it comes up from the video, but this bottle, it's full with dust because I never used that. Let me grab a tissue and I'll get into inking it. Alright, so inking it should be very simple, very easy. Nothing, oh, I always forget to do this. Shouldn't be anything complicated about it. It's just basically a converter. Obviously, move the piston down. And as usual, I'm gonna fill it twice basically. First time to prime the feed and second time to make sure I'm actually getting a full fill on that converter. Wow, this converter moves so smooth. Basically what I'm doing right now, so I don't drop 2 or 3 extra drops into the bottle, I'm just slowly removing ink from the feed. It looks like the converter has some air left in there. Let me try it one more time, maybe I did something wrong. No, I believe that's it. Yep, so there will be some air gap at least for my converter. Doesn't feel like, doesn't look like it's gonna fill up all the way to the top. And then I'm gonna try to sort of put that in there. Seems to be cleaning up right now quite nicely. And trying to do a small writing sample. Again, just for those that are interested in it. Not a big calligraphy guy. So this is Moonman Majohn S3. The nib actually feels really nice, I like it. But I'll be honest, I do wish the pen will be a little bit longer, because to hold it comfortable for me, I'll be somewhere in here. While I can make it work, I think if it will be this much to go on top of my ball finger, should be better. This is kind of awkward position there. But it's okay, I guess. I can make it work. The flow is actually very good on the pen. I don't see any issues. And this ink looks actually quite interesting. Not sure how it's going to turn out with the drawing that I'm going to be doing, but I like experimenting, as you probably have noticed so far. Reverse works as well just fine. And it gives me a finer line, which is really good. But it seems it runs out of ink after a while, or the flow is not as good. I might floss it the nib a little bit before doing the drawing, but I don't think I'm gonna work on it. The line is fine enough writing normally, and this should be perfect for what I want to do. And to give you a look at that ink, let me put the name ink in here too, so in case ever I need to know and go back to it. Blue-Black. Cool. Nice pen. Let me see now, try it out with a drawing for a longer period of time and see how much I'm gonna like it then. For today, I am going back to using inspirations, some of my photographs that I have. Today I'll be using as an inspiration what you see on the screen. I believe this was an out of film picture that I've done with a Pentax camera, and I believe this was a Kodak 400 expire film that I actually converted into black and white once after I developed the film and scanned it. And as you can see, it's not going to be a complicated thing. It's just two leaves in the fall. One of the reasons I choose the blue-black, because I wanted to give that colder feel to it. Hopefully it will turn out okay. And very simple, just a little bit of a branch in here, two leaves with hopefully some good shading to it. And I don't know if I'm going to do stapling, or if it's too late and I'm too bored and not too bored, too tired to finish up, I might actually go and do what I've done with the other drawings, where I grab a full handful of this ink on a deep glass pen and just try and do like a swatch color in here and do some gradations if possible. We'll see when I get there. First of all, I'll have to treat the leaves. Anyway, I'll get to it and I'm gonna come back with the final result and conclusions. See you soon. Hello, I am back. And this one was actually a fun one. I decided to sort of meet myself halfway, and I did the swirly background and added a little bit of stapling. It's it's a nice. I mean, at least I enjoyed it. It was actually quite a lot of fun to do this. Um, Not much to say. I actually love this blue black a lot. It has some purplish hues to it, especially when you do the wash. And I mean, this part here was the lightest wash, and then midway, and this was the actual color. So once you put it heavily, it seems to be quite dark actually, and you still sort of see that blue in there. But as soon as you dilute it a little bit, the purples are starting to show a little bit. Anyway, so this was the drawing for today, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the end result that I have. And the fountain pen actually worked perfect. Functional wise, I have zero complaints. It performed as it should. When I was doing the swirls, he was doing a good job. The flow was perfect. I had no issues. Doing the stapling, like just adding the dots are actually very wet. As in, it feels like it's a little bit of puddle, like a tiny puddle. So good flow on the nib that I received at least. And when I was doing the hashing in here, again, it worked without any issues. So very pleasantly surprised by this fountain pen and how it works. One thing that I noticed though as I was working with it is that for whatever reason on this fountain pen the feed is crooked. I have no idea why. I'll look into it and see if I can fix it, but this is kind of odd. Fortunately, it could just be the nib unit that maybe has some kind of defect in it, and I guess I could replace it with another one if needed. However, this is odd. This is the first time I see this defect on this type of nib. It's not the first time when I'm working with this specific kind of nib, as you probably have seen in my previous reviews. So that's weird. Did not affect the function of the pen. I had no issues or absolutely anything. It was writing without, well, drawing without an issue and wrote without an issue. I only noticed that when I was doing the wash, I left the pen on the side, and I thought that I did something wrong, but then I realized that it's just the feed that looks crooked. I removed the nib, and I did remove the feed as well. Tried to straighten up, and I think probably the plastic color is the issue, and the guides inside maybe they're crooked, and as such it pushes the nib and or the feed in a weird angle. Anyway, not a big deal. I think this is a one-off. I don't think many of them will have. Like I said, I had this type of nib unit in a lot of pens, and I enjoy using them, and I never had this issue. So with that aside, what do I think about this fountain pen? What do I like? What do I hate? And what you might not like about this pen? Honestly, there's absolutely nothing that I hate about this pen. I actually like it. I enjoy it. One thing that I would have liked, maybe make it a little bit longer by, I don't know, 5-10 centimeters or something like that. I think that would have helped the pen more, and I think that would have made more sense, because this way every time I'm drawing I'm kind of at this position, which is fine for me. I have no issue, because like I mentioned before, I tend to make the pen as an extension of my pointer finger, but not everybody is using the pen like this. So I could see that if you're using the pen like this or like this, you might find that it's kind of small, and as you write, this thing, because it's a little bit not sharp but more pointy, as you write and you move the pen, you probably gonna rub against the skin or might dig into it, depending again how small it will feel for you. That's the biggest nuisance that I found, and something that people might hate about. Other than that, I think the thickness of the pen is fine. I have no issues with it. It's not like very girthy, but it's not skinny either. Again, look in the description for dimensions if you're curious about that. Yes, like I mentioned before, you can definitely post it, but it kind of sits on top of it rather than slides securely on the barrel. So like I said, if you get to move a little bit, it stays crooked. It doesn't really stays nicely flush with the pen. And as soon as, let's say, you kind of put it there, and then for whatever reason it gets to be moved, this will just fall very easily. So it's not very securely in there as far as I can tell. And I think those are the biggest nuisance that I have found. Oh, one other thing, that converter inside makes noises. It kind of bangs a little bit against the wall of the pen. I don't find it as a problem, but you might hate it. Better to know about it than be sorry after, right? And that's it. I have no issues with the pen. I like the way it looks. I like the weight of it. It's perfect. And the nib is great. It's one of my favorite nibs. I have no issues with it. And even if I got that crooked thing, it doesn't really breaks the function of it. And I can replace it with another unit if I really need to. For now, I'll leave it as is. It doesn't really bother me. I definitely like the pen. It's quite pretty. Nothing wrong with it. And I guess this is the end of it. I hope you found this useful. I thank you again for joining me, and I wish you a good night or a good day, wherever you are. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.